evening, parents. Welcome to day 3 of the re-envisioned open house that we have in Madison 162. This evening, you're going to have the pleasure of hearing from the two women, two professionals, two experienced administrators who give leadership in terms of our middle school education. You know, one of the things that I believe throughout my career is that the middle school defines the quality of the high school experience. And they definitely have this foremost in their minds that elementary school is so significant in your evolution that if you don't have that good foundation, then it's going to be very difficult for you in high school. If you think about your own education, a great deal of what we know and use on a day-to-day basis really comes not so much from the college education, not so much from the high school, but a lot of it dates back to the elementary school. So therefore, it behooves those that give leadership at the 7th and 8th grade level to make sure that when we confer a diploma, it's an indication that students are not only prepared, but they're going to be successful in the high school experience. Mrs. Brenda Calvin, you probably, if you've been in the district for a while, you know that her children went to school here and graduated from 162. Possibly, you remember that she was Dean of Students at the Huth. By education, she's a science teacher. She was promoted to the position of assistant principal, and she most recently was principal of the SOC. The advantage to that is that she knows not only the families, she knows your children very well because unless you moved into the district, half of the children come from the Indiana, the other half come from the SOC. But something you probably don't know about her, I like to, and hope she's okay with this, but I always like to share something about myself. Do you know, at one time in her life, she wanted to be a ballerina. How about that? And on occasion, she's helped us with fine arts programs throughout the district and at the high school level. She is a beautiful, beautiful, graceful dancer, and that's another side of her personality. But what I don't see necessarily in her, but you might, Mrs. Calvin was at one time career military. And so I'm sharing that with you. All of our lives are complex. All of our lives really are a composite of the journey and of our experiences. But just think of the Brenda Calvin, the ballerina, the fine arts background, the science, and later going into the military. The diverse background, I think, makes her not only structured, focused. She's still kind, but she has an edge that I think is a strength. She's not a person that under pressure is going to fold. But one of these days when you see her in person, inquire about both of those aspects of her background. Very, very interesting. Mrs. Mays lives in the community. Her husband actually is assistant principal and has been for many years at Colin Powell. But I remember when she was a little bit lonely because he was on active duty. And he's since retired from the military, but he comes from that strong background. And I see that reflected in the way that she looks at life, the way that she raised her own children. But she was here, also an assistant principal at the Illinois, as a matter of fact. She left us, and she was a principal in another district for 9 years, and now she has returned to us. Very, very different from our previous principal. You know that the previous principal was soft-spoken, certainly kind, loving, gentle, gentle. Uh, Mrs. Dr. Mays, Dr. Shanita Mays, is certainly kind. She probably has a gentleness, but she has that energy and that feistiness and that determination. The Illinois is already a different place under her leadership. Together, they make just an extraordinary team, an extraordinary team. I'm so proud of Mrs. Mays and Mrs. Calvin and the job that they're doing. But they're each a reflection of their background. I don't think that anything takes the place of experience. You're well aware that I've been in this business for years. And actually, this is the first time that I've ever encountered something that was new to me, and that's the pandemic, the virus. And so I do think when you have experience in the area, it means that you're never crisis driven. You see a problem and you break it down to its least common denominators and you solve it. And so that's what I see in both Mrs. Calvin and Dr. Mays. In addition to Mrs. Mays and Mrs. Calvin, you're going to see some children, parts of a video that we received from Victory, specifically from Pastor Singleton. He shared a video with me that he produced about the remote hybrid learning experience. I just think that it came at such a wonderful time because we were in the process of rolling out this information to you. We needed the presence of children and everything that you're going to see. And I don't want to necessarily share too much of it. I want you to see it for yourself, but you're going to see children in the process of engaging with us at home virtually through the use of Chromebooks, laptops, and iPads. And that's really what remote education is all about. So thank you, Victory, for your input into our project. But when you finish with this, you're going to be thinking, perhaps there's some ideas that I can pick up from the video, or either some ideas from one of the principals that I'm going to use in my at-home classroom. And that's really the purpose of this, that we would learn together, that what is presented would become a part of your home classroom, and we would become stronger partners as we work together for the benefit of your children. But thank you so much, and good evening.
Can you tell me how to do blended or remote learning? Remote learning. Blended or remote learning? Remote learning.
I don't care what I look like. I don't care what I feel like. I don't care if I'm not dressed from the bottom down. I rub my eyes so I can't look while I open my notebook. Never mind the COVID-19 is currently on the outlook. I'm ready to learn, no matter the term. Ain't gonna let anything get my grades down. You never leave or forsake me, but got to log on remotely.
Tell me how to do blended or remote learning? Remote learning. Blended or remote learning? Remote learning.
I go to school on Monday, and e-learn on Tuesday. I wear my mask on Wednesday, so confused what day it is. I need help with my homework, but my parents at their work. Never mind if they're on a call or on a Zoom meeting. I'm ready to learn, no matter the terms. Ain't gonna let anything get my grades down. Let's hold on to the master. In order to learn, we have to.
Tell me how to do blended or remote learning? Remote learning. Blended or remote learning? Remote learning. Blended or remote learning?
is Calvin, and I'm the principal of O.W. Huth Middle School.
And I'm Dr. Mays, principal of Illinois School.
Welcome back, students. During this virtual open house for the middle schoolers of Matson School District 162, we will describe a typical school day for your child, discuss the norms and expectations for remote learning, and we will share our school improvement plans. The School Improvement Plan defines our school's targeted work to increase student achievement and the overall educational experience for all of our students. Our school improvement goals are to meet the academic, social, and emotional needs of our students, infuse technology by integrating Chromebooks and online resources into everyday instruction, and to continue to improve our students' math, reading, and writing skills.
Our school improvement goal number 1 is Second Step. Second Step is a program that addresses social emotional learning. It gives students the tools to excel in and out of the classroom. It is an easy-to-teach program that garners outstanding reviews from educators who have noticed school-wide improvement and see even the most challenging students make progress in emotion management, situational awareness, and academic achievement. What does Second Step look like in the middle school? Second Step is an evidence-based social-emotional learning curriculum that improves the lives of over 15 million students every year. Many of our middle school students come to us without the social emotional skills that they need to become productive adults in a world that is increasingly becoming smaller through our virtual platform. Since the skills can be taught, it is imperative that we as educators do more to teach self-management, relationship building, cooperation, and conflict resolution skills. It starts at the core with social emotional being. It encompasses self-awareness, self-management, responsible decision-making, relationship skills, and social awareness. The key focus points are: point 1 is the SEL curriculum and instruction. Point 2, school-wide practices and policies. And point 3, blending the family and the community partnership. Each of our schools have pupil personnel services, which consist of our school psychologist, school counselor, social worker, and the school nurse, who all support our SEL programs.
Our second school improvement goal is to infuse technology into daily instruction. This year, we issued Chromebooks to all of our students. Some of the benefits of having this one-to-one technology are greater student engagement, more creative learning opportunities, and the ability to tailor learning experiences to students' skills and learning styles. All of our teachers have participated in extensive Google Suite training, which is used daily in our remote learning classrooms. In addition to students having digital access to all of their textbooks, our teachers use many online supplemental resources to support and enhance daily instruction. The resources that you will begin to see your child use regularly are ExactPath, Study Island, Star 360, IXL, and Flocabulary. Our third school improvement goal is to improve the reading, writing, and math skills of our students. This will be accomplished by aligning instruction to the Common Core state standards and the next generation science standards, providing opportunities for enrichment and intervention, emphasizing math fact fluency and vocabulary acquisition, and improving written communication using 6 Traits writing. When planning instruction, teachers ask themselves 4 essential questions. What do students need to know, understand, and be able to do? How do we teach effectively to ensure all students are learning? How do we know students are learning? And what do we do when students are not learning or are reaching mastery before expected? The continuous cycle of teaching and student learning is the academic process that intentionally happens on a weekly basis. Teachers will plan and teach new Common Core standards and skills at the beginning of the week. They will then assess the student's progress to determine reteaching or enrichment opportunities. At the end of the week, the reflection process for both staff and students occurs. We evaluate the overall performance by determining the mastery levels of standards taught and then plan and prepare for the upcoming week.
Let's talk about instructional approach. Delivery can include any of the following: face-to-face instruction through Google Meet, which may include whole class, small group, one-to-one. Video lessons and podcasts, formative assignments through Google Classroom and SchoolWire, threaded discussion through Google Classroom, virtual labs, demonstrations, hands-on activities that can be completed at home, independent reading, writing, research, and projects. Families, please use daily telephone check-ins with your child's teacher. If you are unable to connect through Google Classroom, we will work with you to meet the needs of your child. Middle school curriculum used to deliver instruction include Pearson's My Perspective Reading, Pearson Digits Math, Interactive Science, and My World Social Studies. Essential skills for ELA and mathematics have been identified and will be utilized to drive daily instruction throughout the academic school year.
Our way to determine a student's level of mastery in specific skills and standards is through assessment. There are many types of assessment. Teachers give assessments that are provided with the curriculum. The statewide assessment, which is the Illinois Assessment of Readiness, also known as the IAR, compares our students' proficiency of the Common Core state standards to other students across the state. The IAR is given in the spring. STAR 360 is our district-wide assessment, and it also determines the level of mastery on grade level standards. This is a series of online diagnostic benchmark assessments that help us to determine your child's strengths and opportunities for growth for that given moment of the school year in the areas of math and English language arts. The STAR 360 assessment will be administered online in small groups by your child's homeroom teacher. During each testing session, teachers will test up to 6 students at a time. Our first STAR 360 testing window is September 28th through October 14th. More information about the STAR 360 testing schedule will be posted on our school's websites. A Huth Night starts each morning at 7:35 with a 30-minute focus period, which is designed for students to participate in social and emotional learning activities. Content area classes begin at 8:05 and end at 2:10. On Fridays, however, we run a shortened schedule starting at 7:35 and ending at 1:25. Each student is given a 30-minute lunch period daily.
For Illinois Wolves, a regular school day begins each morning at 7:45 and ends at 2:15 with a lunch period during the day. Like the Hoop, Fridays are an early dismissal day ending at 1:25. The grading policy in Madison School District 162 is the same as it has been in years past. In grades 7 and 8, students will earn letter grades based on the scale that you see here. Grades will represent a variety of activities performed by the student. Grades may be determined by such activities as daily work, compositions, projects, reports, oral presentations, discussions, weekly quizzes, or tests. Performance or progress reports are available weekly via PowerSchool. These reports summarize for parents or guardians your students' performance in skill development and critical thinking.
As always, attendance matters and counts. Please help us by making sure that your child is on time, attends every class session, and keeps their camera on. We also would like to see their beautiful faces. This diagram, which was created by one of our teachers, illustrates how we would prefer our students to be present in their virtual classrooms. In addition to being on time and present in every class, we also ask that students create a workspace that is free from distractions, dress appropriately, stay muted until prompted by the teacher to unmute, and notify school personnel of any technical issues immediately. We ask that students do not wear pajamas, robes, hats, or headgear, eat and drink during class, use their cell phones, video record, audio record, or live stream class sessions. Lastly, but of the utmost importance, students should never share their login information.
Parents, in the spirit of helping all of our students, we ask that you refrain from the following: engaging with students while a Google Meet is in session, speaking with teachers during normal instruction. Remember, never ever share your students' login credentials. Parents, help support students throughout this learning experience. Stay connected and check in with the teacher and the school using email, phone calls, Class Dojo, or Remind, and also the teacher's webpage. Provide a comfortable, distraction-free workplace. Follow a daily plan and know your child's schedule. Keep your child motivated. You know them best of all, and together we can keep them encouraged throughout the remote learning experience. Families, please utilize the invaluable resources on our district school wire site and each individual school site. You will find a link to the Technology Open House video and access to the Matson School District 162 Tech Journal. Both resources are there to provide assistance and answer any questions that you may have with the Google Suites platform, the student-issued technology devices, connectivity questions, and any other remote learning questions that you may have.